Look into my eyes. Your soul is stained by the blood of the innocent. Feel their pain.
This issue starts with Johnny Blaze on the road, deep in thought. So deep in thought, in fact, that he ends up crashing. While in the middle of crashing, the Ghost Rider demands to be set free from deep inside John's psyche. He says that only he can save him. Johnny ignores the Rider and falls in such a way as to not do too much damage to himself. He sort of succeeds. He is still alive, but he falls unconscious. He reflects on recent events as the Quentin Carnival, the carnival he works for, was attacked by the Circus of Crime. During the attack, the Ghost Rider used his hellfire and burned the soul of a fellow carny, Elliot, who was only trying to help. The man is practically a vegetable now. Devastated from the guilt and tired of ruining the lives of those around him, Johnny slips away without anyone's notice and leaves for the open road to travel alone. As Johnny is passed out, a man creeps up on him and drags him away. Several hours later, at the Quentin Carnival, Red, a friend and confidant of Blaze's, one of the few who know he is Ghost Rider, is lamenting with Mr. Quentin, the owner of the carnival, over the damage the Circus of Crime have done to his precious carnival. Quentin feels as though he has now lost everything, and is devastated. Red then goes to speak to Cynthia Randolph, a reporter who is doing a piece on the Quentin Carnival and its recent unfortunate circumstances. He feels she is using the misfortune of the carnival as a personal gain for her article. She basically tells him to buzz off and go ride bikes with his broski Blaze. The psychic lady, Madame Olga, rolls up and says Blaze has left and doesn't plan on coming back. She says she had a disturbing dream last night of him dancing with a woman who could not walk, and she carried him off into a great unholy mist. Red is like, I don't give a crap about your visions, but I think I know why Johnny left, and I'm gonna get him back. Johnny slowly wakes up to the sight of a strange old man smiling at him, saying,
Hello?
The man explains that he saw Johnny's accident and brought him to this campsite. He says he hopes he didn't scare him and asks if Johnny is angry. Johnny replies that he isn't angry at all, and he owes him a world of thanks. Adam is ecstatic at hearing this, exclaiming, no one has ever thanked Adam for anything in years. He digs it. He also says not to worry about his bike. He brought it along too. It's kinda messed up though. Blaze goes on to introduce himself to Adam. Adam really likes his last name, stating that he doesn't remember if he has a last name himself, and maybe he will just take Johnny's. Johnny seems amused by the oddball that is Adam. They talk well into the night, Blaze being put at ease and feeling at peace from the simple conversation. Suddenly, though, the crickets stop chirping, the owl stops hooting, a foul wind snuffs out their campfire, and Adam is petrified with fear. No! He shouts. Blaze asks what's wrong. Adam just stares deep into the mist as it slowly creeps in. There is a figure in the mist. Blaze is like, what the hell is that? The figure in the mist confronts Adam, stating that it is time for him to come home. His fool's errand is at an end. He asks if he truly thought he could find someone to help take her away from him. Adam responds that he did find someone good who will help me. He says this as he is dragged off into the mist. Blaze thinks to himself that he can't just stand by and do nothing. Ghost Rider interjects that there isn't anything he could do and he should just release the Rider, as this is an evil that will devour Blaze with ease. At first, Blaze thinks maybe he should, then immediately thinks it isn't a good idea, as the Rider just might kill Adam in the process of rescuing him. Blaze confronts the misty figure, telling him to get his hands off Adam, threatening him with a wrench. The figure just waves their hand and the wrench flies out of Blaze's grasp. Blaze is like, what the fuck? Nice trick, buddy, but believe me, I've seen better in my day. It's gonna take a lot more to impress, Blaze shouts as he rushes towards the mysterious figure. The figure swats him away with ease, shouting, miscreant! Blaze, on the ground, struggling to stay conscious, but is determined as Adam's life hangs in the balance. Several miles down at the scene of Johnny's earlier crash, we find Red talking with an officer trying to get them to help him find Blaze. All they found was Blaze's helmet. They call it a bust and saying there's nothing they can do, and they decide to go. Red, agitated, keeps looking and notices an area where it looks like someone could have been dragged. Elsewhere we find Blaze making his way through the forest, determined to find and help Adam. He wants to return the kindness that Adam had shown him. He is able to easily follow as the mysterious figure left a trail of dead plant life everywhere he went. Blaze is like, I don't think I want to know how he does that. He is quite bewildered by the fact that even on a bike, he still hasn't caught up with him. How fast can one person carrying another on foot be? Just then, he comes across a sight to behold. A mansion covered in overgrowth, hidden in the forest. Also, the art here is just incredible. I love this picture. Blaze, determined, they have to be here. He sees someone sitting by a tree. He runs over to him, yelling, asking if he's seen anything. The man doesn't respond. Frustrated, he picks up the man, yelling, "Don't just sit there with the stick up your ass," as he looks into the man's eyes. He freaks out and drops him. While looking into his eyes, he saw nothing. It's like the man wasn't alive nor dead. He was just empty. There was nothing there. Frightened yet determined, Blaze enters the mansion. He enters the world of survival horror.
What is this?
Wow, what a mansion!
Rotting wood and creaking doors, except the lively plants covering the architecture. The house itself seems very much dead, but as he creeps inside to explore, he hears music. He follows the sound, opening a door to the dining room, full of people sitting at a table with a man dressed like a count at the end of the table, standing and raising a glass to our Mr. Blaze. He welcomes him with a greeting stating that they have been waiting most anxiously for his arrival. He arrived just in time for drinks and dancing. Blaze again is like, "What the fuck, mate?" He introduces himself as Centris. He goes on to introduce the others, starting with the familiar face, Adam! As Blaze shouts his name, Centris scolds him for interrupting. He continues introducing the guests sitting at the table, spouting their names one by one. An observer wouldn't be able to help but notice the blank stares they all have, as if staring off into the abyss. He finishes introductions with his wife, Tara. Blaze, not amused by what appears to be a game, tells Centris as much. Centris assures Blaze that this is no mere game, but a party in Blaze's honor. "I did promise you dancing, didn't I?" Centris assumes that maybe that's why Blaze is upset. He wants to bust a move. "Music, maestro. Let the revelry begin." And with but a mere gesture, two of his guests rise and start to dance. But something seems off. The way that they are dancing. No grace, no emotion, just blank stares as if puppets on strings. Blaze's observations are interrupted when Tara asks Blaze for a dance. Johnny, just still really confused by what's going on, hesitates. "Do not be rude, Blaze. Dance," Centris exclaims. Johnny can't help but to go along and starts dancing with Tara. All of this, though, is brought to a crashing halt as soon as Blaze looks into her eyes. He is shocked to discover it's just like the man he encountered outside. Just emptiness. There is nothing there. Her eyes were completely vacant of anything resembling life. Blaze staggers back, horrified. Tara just goes and sits down unfazed. Adam looks somber as he observes her. Blaze demands answers from Centris, or he leaves right now. With Adam, Centris mocks these claims, as he observes the fear in Johnny's voice. Still, though, like any classic villain, he concedes in telling Johnny what he wants to know, but assures him he might want to sit down as it's a lengthy tale. Johnny Blaze is like, "You got 1 minute." Centris obliged, stating, "Then you will hear the abridged version." He explains the reason Blaze has noticed the void within everyone, and why they all seem so absent is because they lack something substantial. They all lack a soul. Centris has devoured them, just as he will now devour Blaze's. Uh-oh. For some reason, Blaze can't move. Ghost Rider calls him a fool, saying he warned him. He demands to be let free. Blaze refuses. As he is refusing, Centris begins sucking his soul right from his body. As he is being torn asunder from the pain, an all too familiar transformation takes place. Centris is freaked. He has no idea what's going on. "What have I unleashed?" Ghost Rider just laughs as he hurls a freaking large table at him. He will show Centris fear. Centris mocks this and states it will be the other way around. He tells the soulless husks that used to be people to attack the Rider as he bails. He goes upstairs to a room holding a green fancy crystal. He calls it the Crystal of Souls. It sustains and nurtures him. He asks it to grant him the power to vanquish the Ghost Rider. Meanwhile, Ghosty is fighting off drones and realizes something significant. If they have no souls, his hellfire is useless. This pisses off and frustrates the Rider as he tosses the mindless drones away. He creates his hell cycle and rides up the stairs towards his prey. Centris compliments the Rider's speed and strength, but he states he has faced numerous others of equal strength throughout the centuries, each failing, and their souls were trapped within his crystal. He threatens Ghost Rider will fall the same fate as he catches the Rider's motorcycle by the front wheel and tosses him aside with ease. The Rider is completely shocked by what just occurred.
No man has ever done such a deed.
Centris tells him that he is no mere man. The Rider claims not to be one either. As they continue their fight, Red shows up, interrupting them. Centris, observing that the Rider has a friend, sicks his soulless drones on Red. Centris now thinks he has the Rider at his mercy, instructing him to submit, or his friend will be torn apart. To his surprise, the Rider just laughs at this and tells him to do it. Centris, shocked, but he's your friend. Ghost Rider claims that his only friend
is vengeance.
He slams straight into Centris on his bike. While observing, Adam takes Terra and goes to escape the mansion. The Rider has Centris at his mercy and mocks him, for he thought he would have been more of a formidable foe. He goes to do what he does best and attempts to burn Centris' soul, but Centris just laughs. Thousands of souls burst out of him, these souls belonging to the many victims Centris has taken over centuries. One in particular catches Adam's eye. His heart breaks. Overwhelmed by so many souls, the Ghost Rider retreats back into Blaze. Centris then tells Blaze that why the Rider's power to burn souls wouldn't work on him. He has no soul of his own, and all the Rider did was punish the souls of Centris' victims. The game is over. Centris boasts that he won. He is still alive, and Blaze is finished. Suddenly, both notice the house is on fire. Centris refuses to give up. He will have Johnny's soul. Johnny says screw that and begins to run away when he sees Red. He can't forget about him. They both fight off the soulless drones while Blaze asks why Red followed him. Red is like, I give a crap about you, buddy. Now let's go. Blaze doesn't want to leave without Adam. Adam and Terra are at the top of the stairs, a torch in Adam's hand. Adam says it's time this house went along with him. He says he was too blind to see that Terra had been dead a long time. All that remains is her soulless shell. See, Terra had raised Adam after their mother died. Then she met Centris. First, he stole her heart, and then her soul, and he forced Adam to live as his servant. Adam refused to accept that Terra was gone. He kept thinking one day he will get out, and he will save her, and they will be okay. After seeing her soul fly away, he finally has come to accept the truth. His sister is long gone, and it's time for him to join her. Johnny doesn't want to leave him, but Red is like, we gotta get the fuck out of here, bro. They make a run for it as the house crumbles to the ground, smothered in flames and smoke. They decide to head back to the carnival. We see, in the aftermath, nothing is left except for the wreckage of what once was and the footsteps of a soulless man. I was really excited to review this issue. I love Centris. I don't know exactly what it is about him I love so much. He has a very demanding presence with his charismatic charm and wit that makes his personality as a villain a lot of fun to watch. Poor Johnny just can't catch a break. It's like his life is attracted to danger with no escape. Just when he finds a friendship in Adam, it's taken away quite abruptly. The horror setting at the mansion with all the soulless drones walking about was like something out of a Stephen King novel, and I loved every bit of it. The artwork depicting the mansion was fantastic. I don't think I have any complaints. The ending with Adam explaining his story to Blaze about his sister was truly captivating and quite depressing, and added to the evil that is Centris. But why bother with surrounding himself with soulless husks? And why take a wife? Was there something significant about it? Maybe we will find out more. I also like that Centris was more than a match for the Rider. This round definitely went to Centris. Maybe we will get a round 2. Next review is the next issue of the series as Blaze takes on Steelwind. See you then.